Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabel, and I'm very happy to have you. I hope that you're hanging in there and that you're doing well. In this video, I wanted to get just a little bit more personal with you guys, since there's quite a few of you here now, and I will be doing a Q&A, more standard Q&A very soon. So if you do have specific questions, I've already asked on Instagram once, but if you didn't get the chance to ask then, please go ahead and comment whatever question that you have for me down below under this video, or whatever works for you. In this video, I am going to be looking to my right, because I have pulled up a list of the 36 questions to fall in love. And do I believe personally that the research is substantial enough to be somewhat true? No, I don't think so. I think that this is more so like an intimacy sandbox, I guess. It's like a construction zone for affection and attention, and it's like a very formulaic and derived conversation. But regardless, I thought it was interesting. So, first of all, what are the 36 questions to fall in love? This website, mindbodygreen.com, says that the so-called 36 questions to fall in love are a set of questions developed in the 1990s by psychologist Arthur Aaron, PhD, and Elaine Aaron, PhD. So I should have just said doctor for both of them. Anyway, odd way to format that. And other researchers to see if two strangers can develop an intimate relationship just from asking each other a series of increasingly personal questions. The 36 questions in question are as follows. They are subdivided into 3 sections, or 3 sets. So there's a first set that is sort of surface level, and then the second set starts to delve a bit deeper, and then the third set is where it gets the most personal. So for some of these are interactive, so I won't be able to answer all of them to my fullest capabilities. However, we'll modify them, or we'll just move on from them. Okay. So the first question in set 1 is, given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? It doesn't specify whether this individual has to be alive, so rather than going for somebody that is alive, like maybe like the Dalai Lama or something, that I would initially be drawn to having a conversation with, I would say that I'd be most interested in sharing dinner with a late friend of mine. Number 2 asks, would you like to be famous, and why? I think that a lot of us want to be famous, especially when we're younger. It has some sort of fantastical allure, but unfortunately when we are so immature, we don't understand that fame has consequence and is very severe. So I would say the only thing that I would want to ever be famous for in some capacity would be through helping others, whether it be an invention or a research project that aided in the survival of a species that's near extinction, or just helping you guys find some peace. I personally am not a fan of fame. It is too daunting, and I think all too often we dehumanize celebrities. So no. The third question is, before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you are going to say and why? I do this every time, whether I'm ordering food or scheduling an appointment. I have very severe social anxiety, and I do fall on the autism spectrum. And I just kind of fear interaction. So yes, I have to rehearse in my head what I'm going to say. I can't just cold call someone, even like family members. I just can't do that. So yes, I do. Number 4 is, what would constitute a quote-unquote perfect day for you? I would say that a perfect day would be waking up whenever, just when my body decides that it's had enough rest, and eating a decent breakfast and reading a book all day. Sometimes more than one book, because I do go through books very quickly. But also just like interacting with my cat, and maybe going outside and getting some sunshine, maybe going to the library. I think, and then having like a late lunch and cozying up and watching a horror movie for dinner, and then playing video games, and then reading again before bed, and hopefully getting a very nice, solid night of sleep. Number 5 is, when did you last sing to yourself? To someone else? I sing to myself all the time. I think I sang to myself earlier today. It's just something that stimulates my nervous system, I guess. It's like a comfort thing that I do. Humming especially. I sang to someone else probably within the last, I would say it's been quite a few months. Half a year, maybe more than half a year, I would say. Question number 6 is, if you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want? I am assuming that this has more to do with aesthetic than it does actual science. So, if the question is, would I rather retain my looks until I'm 90 years old, like appear 30 until I'm 90 years old, or maintain my mental clarity until I'm 90 years old, I would rather maintain my mental clarity until I'm 90 years old. Although, actually there is no although. I think that aging is a privilege. So, I would be very, very surprised if I made it to 90 years old. I'm surprised that I made it past 16. So, I think I would love to see wrinkles on my face and signs of aging on my body. I don't have a problem with that. Number 7 is, do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? Quite a morbid question. I don't. I guess I do. I don't think that it will be accidental, and I do think I will be the one to facilitate it. Let's just say that. That's my hunch. I'm in a very, very good space right now mentally, so there's no need to worry about that at all. So number 8 is an interactive question. It says, name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common. I will name 1, and it is that we both enjoy ASMR content. Question number 9 is, for what in your life do you feel most grateful? And I would say my life itself. I just feel very fortunate that I am still alive and able to experience and take in all of the lessons that my time on earth has to offer me. Number 10 is, if you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? I would change how present my parents were in my life. Number 11 says, take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible. Instead, I will be taking my time to discuss my experience with ASMR and how it has led to this. So, when I was a wee lass, like well over a decade ago, I discovered ASMR content on YouTube via ASMR requests and Heather Feather ASMR and Gentle Whispering ASMR and Whispers Lily ASMR and many, many, many more. And I fell in love. It was a great comfort for me. When I was in high school, I decided that I wanted to start a faceless YouTube channel. And I went so far as to draw my own icons and backgrounds for each video, and I would sing in some and just whisper in others. And it was a very cathartic, safe space for me. But unfortunately, I was bullied very severely and stalked in high school. And I decided that it was not safe for me to be making that content anymore. And I was really ridiculed for it and made fun of. At the time, ASMR had just really been pulled into the limelight. And unfortunately, I just had to give it up. But in college, I decided to start it back up again, and then I got very deliriously ill, so I once again had to abandon it. In the time that I started watching ASMR up till now, I would say YouTube is very oversaturated with ASMR content, and that is a great thing. I think it's wonderful. It used to be such a niche, like looked down upon and scrutinized and villainized form of content, but now there is content for everyone. 12 is, if you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be? Rather than taking like a supernatural approach, I don't think this question is intending for a supernatural answer, but nonetheless, I would want to wake up tomorrow with the ability of radical acceptance. The second set of questions starts now, and this is one of the hardest questions, this next one. And it is number 1. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know? I wanted to know a lot. So assuming that I can only know one thing, I think that asking for something grand or the knowledge of how to do something grand, like curing illnesses or like ailments and things like that. I think that is a heavy burden, and I really don't want to be the one to bear it. So I honestly would ask if the universe was able or had the ability to channel my love to other people, even like, across all planes, so not strictly in the reality that we experience, if that makes sense. I just want to extend my affection. I want to know if that's even possible. So, and if it's possible, I would want to know how I can do that. So, yeah, kind of cheesy, but it's the truth. Question number 2 in set 2 is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it? I have always, since I was very young, wanted to write stories. I have a very fantastical imagination. And sometimes I feel the need to like purge myself of all of these ideas before I'm able to sleep, or else my mind will just run wild. And I have not put pen to paper in such a long time because I have the mind, I'm a very meticulous person in general. I'm a perfectionist as well, so I can't start something. That's also how I learn. If I'm learning a formula for some sort of, for mathematics, I need to understand how it works and why it works before I will be able to actually digest it and apply it properly. And the same can be said for writing. I always struggled with essays because I needed to understand the full picture before I could start on the individual paragraphs and then the individual sentences and then the individual words. And when I think about how daunting of a task that is for something like writing an actual story, I just think I don't have time. But then I waste my time by thinking that I'm not spending my time correctly or productively. It's a vicious cycle. But yeah, writing, I think, is something that I get in the way of myself doing. Number 3 is, what is the greatest accomplishment of your life? Surviving. Question number 4, what do you value most in a friendship? In a friendship, I value communication. Really, in any relationship, I value communication. I think that it's very important to be able to talk to each other and have meaningful discussions and joke around and have pointless discussions about nothing in particular. Number 5 is, what is your most treasured memory? So you know how in Harry Potter, when you have to think of like a very happy memory in order to summon your patronus? I don't even remember what it's called. But like the being of light that is your spirit animal that goes out and like eviscerates dementors. I have never known what memory I would draw back to. I have never known. I think maybe like doing charades in the dark by candlelight and eating candy during Halloween when I was like 5. But that's such a hazy memory. Number 6 is, what is your most terrible memory? I have a lot. And I can't really quantify it or like put it on a scale. I have a lot. That's all I'll say. Number 7 is, if you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, morbid, would you change anything about the way you are now living? Why? So I think I would just move somewhere quieter and prettier, and live out the rest of my days with my cat peacefully. Yeah, and make sure that she has a good home to go to after I pass. The next question is, what does friendship mean to you? I think just having a quality connection with somebody is the essence of friendship. Question number 9 is, what roles do love and affection play in your life? This is also a difficult question. I would say that I am very full of love and very giving and generous with it. But I feel like I am lacking in the receiving end. And I think a lot of people can say the same. But I generate enough for myself to not drown in sorrow, shall we say, rather dramatically. But the next question is another interactive one that I will have to skip, but it does say, alternate sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner. Share a total of 5 items. So I will share positive characteristics of myself, I think. It's a good little self-love exercise. Number 1, I would say I'm very resilient. Number 2, I would say I'm very kind, I guess. Kind, tolerant is a better word. Number 3, I would say understanding. Number 4, oh, this is hard. I think I'm very loving. Yeah, I'll say I'm very loving. And for the 5th one, I'm very stylish. Yeah, we'll go with that. The next question is number 11. How close and warm is your family? Do you feel your childhood was happier than most other people's? No, I don't think so. Number 12 also ties in, and it says, how do you feel about your relationship with your mother? I am happy with no contact. I am satisfied. Set 3 now begins. Question number 1 in set 3 is, make 3 true we statements each. For instance, we are both in this room. I don't think I can do that. Yeah, so we both like ASMR. We are both on Earth, question mark. We are both alive, question mark. Number 2 is, complete this sentence. I wish I had someone with whom I could share. I wish I had someone with whom I could share my favorite things with. Yeah, like affection with. I wish that I could have someone. I wish I had someone with whom I could share a nice bowl of homemade soup. Where we'd cook it together and then we'd eat it together. Yeah. Number 3. If you were going to become a close friend with your partner, please share what would be important for them to know. That I am a sickling. I have several chronic illnesses that prevent me from functioning like a normal human being. And there are going to be doubtless times where I disappoint you because my health is not going to be up to par, or I can't do certain things that a normal person could, and you would wonder, why can't you do that? It's a very normal thing. My health impedes a lot of my life. So I think that's something that is very, very valuable to know. Number 5, share with your partner an embarrassing moment in your life. I have so many. Just one off the top of my head, because I was talking about mathematics earlier. One time in calculus, in AP Calc in high school, it was a really hard question, and it was from the homework previously. I think that was my stomach. Anyway, it was from the previous night's homework, and nobody knew how to do it. And that's an embarrassing moment as well. Nobody knew how to do it, except for me. I'd gotten the right answer, so I was like, I'll go up to the board, I'll show you guys how I did it. So I go up there, and I do my thing, and I write down, like, I draw the graph, and I write down all the whole process, and I'm explaining it, and the teacher, the professor, the doctor, she had a PhD, anyway, she was sitting in the back of the class, and she was like, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. I had done every single step incorrectly, and I still had gotten the correct answer somehow. It was mortifying. But it was hilarious. It was very funny. Because what are the odds? Yeah, that was embarrassing. Number 6. When did you last cry in front of another person? By yourself? I cry every day. That's not true. I cry a lot, though. I'm a very sensitive person, to an extreme fault. So when I cry in front of people all the time as well, I'll do it right now. Several months ago, I guess. I usually do it alone, though, you know. Sometimes you just can't help it. Sometimes it's healthier to just cry in public. It's mortifying and embarrassing to cry in public, but the world keeps spinning. Number 7 is tell your partner something that you like about them already. If you've made it this far in the video, I admire your patience. And I question your sanity, but I'm happy to have you. Number 8 is, what, if anything, is too serious to be joked about? There's a lot of things. I know that dark humor is a very popular coping mechanism, and it's effective. I don't partake in it unless it's an experience that I've had and I feel validated in making fun of it. I think there's a lot of things. I don't necessarily think it would be appropriate to name them in an ASMR video, so I think I'll just skip over that. Another death question, number 9. If you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you most regret not having told someone? Why haven't you told them yet? I can't think of anything. I'm not one that regrets saying something or not saying something, because I usually just speak my mind and I'm honest and truthful and gentle. I'm not one to confront someone else maliciously or like deconstructively. I don't know. I don't think I have anything that I would say to anyone. So, moving on to number 10. Your house containing everything you own catches fire. After saving your loved ones and pets, you have time to safely make a final dash to save any one item. What would it be and why? There is like a little photo card that I would save, not a K-pop group, but it's like a picture of my friend, and I would save that, I think. Number 11. Of all the people in your family, whose death would you find the most disturbing, and why? It would have to be my dad, because he's the only person that I care about. So that would be very devastating and disturbing, to say the least. The final question, question number 12, is share a personal problem and ask your partner's advice on how he or she might handle it. Also, ask your partner to reflect to you how you seem to be feeling about the problem you have chosen. My personal problem would be, how can I find the money to spend on books? They are so expensive. And I have read so many that I want physical copies of, but I cannot afford it. How would you go about affording such things? Do you have any entrepreneurial? Any ideas? I would be very open. Thank you. Alright, and that concludes the 36 questions to fall in love. I don't feel like I am any more lovable after sharing these answers with you guys. But maybe some of them sparked an interest in you. Anyway, I hope that at the very least you were able to relax and take some time out of your day to just rest through this video. And I appreciate you sticking around. And I hope that you have a good rest of your day. I'll see you next time.